Hi.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Good morning for Indonesian. Good evening for America. As usual, today we are going to have a lesson with our friends from New York, from the students from Hobart and Williams Smith Colleges. As usual, me as the moderator, Sri Hendrawati, will be the moderator for today topics. Okay. So today we are going to have topics with greetings and others. Okay. Alex and Kali, the time is yours.
Right. All right. So today we're going to talk about holidays and greetings.
Okay.
I have on the board written some popular American holidays. Oh, my name's Alex. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. It's not true.
No, I'm just kidding. How are you guys? Can we go around and introduce yourselves as well?
Okay. Okay, let's start with the names. I'm Sri Hendrawati and here's my friends.
My name is Fikri.
Okay. And
I am Dajrita Puspita.
Okay. Nice to meet you all.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Okay, please, Kali and Maddie, please.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to talk about holidays. On the board, I've written some popular American holidays that are celebrated here.
Okay.
Chronological order,
For the most part.
for the most part. The first one that
Yes.
everyone celebrates at the beginning of the year is New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Okay.
That's celebrated obviously on the last day, December 31st and January 1st. The first day of the
What do you do on that special holiday, Alex?
on New Year's, people typically, and it's true. We have confetti. That's the first one we have up here. It's confetti, little bits of paper.
Fly through the air. It's a mark of celebration.
Yeah, and in America specifically, everyone watches the ball in New York City. It's this giant, like, glowing ball that drops as
Really
it gets
slowly.
closer to
Yeah.
its 12th hour.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's hard to explain, but it's on it just like goes slowly down, but they call it the ball dropping. It's not really dropping, it's just like descending really very slowly. It sounds really weird to describe it actually.
It actually is really weird.
Yeah, I don't exactly know where it came from, but there are New Year's Eve festivities celebrated in New York, and it's called like New Year's Rockin' Eve or whatever. And so they have lots of different musical artists that come and perform on this stage in New York. But they also have, and they have lots of different hosts as well. But they also have at different places around the country other musical artists that perform, and you can watch their performances as well as it gets closer to midnight. And then as it goes past midnight, then there are some other celebrations that you can watch because not the whole country is in the same time zone, so you can just keep watching it. But usually, more often than not, people tend to go out and celebrate at parties and things like that. But if you're me and you don't have plans and you're not 21 yet, so you can't go to like a club or something, then you're at home watching this program. That's a joke, but very true.
The other thing people typically drink on New Year's is champagne. It's traditional to have a glass of champagne right at New Year's. You like clink glasses and say cheers to the new year with your family or whatever.
It's great.
After New Year's comes Valentine's Day, which is always on February 14th. And initially it was meant to celebrate Saint Valentine, who was like a Catholic saint. He really has nothing to do with the holiday anymore, but basically it's a lover's holiday. You give out cards for people you love and chocolate. And for some reason, Cupid, who's the Roman god of love, is associated with Valentine's Day. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, he shoots his love arrows at you. He's a little baby. It's so weird. He's a little baby and he shoots arrows at two different people so they fall in love with each other. And this is associated with Valentine's Day as well. It's all a great mess.
The baby with
Oh, he has wings too. Honestly.
The next holiday that's celebrated is March 17th, and you celebrate St. Patrick's Day on there. St. Patrick was also a Catholic saint.
Yeah.
Again, the holiday has changed a lot since its initial conception, but
St. Patrick was an Irish saint, an Irish Catholic saint, and he's the patron saint or the main saint of Ireland. And they celebrate his day, and I learned once and I can't remember why, but he was celebrated in Ireland, and then all of a sudden, I think probably
he brought Catholicism to the Irish.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Alex. He brought Catholicism to the Irish, and converted them from their pagan religion or whatever. And so they celebrated that, and then St. Patrick's Day became a thing, and I'm guessing that once lots of Irish people immigrated to the U.S. in the late 1800s, that it was around this time that St. Patrick's Day became a huge thing in the U.S. as well. And
because it's not a big thing in Ireland.
No, it's not as big as you might expect, but
it's only really a U.S. thing.
But people from the U.S. really like to drink alcohol, so. And that people drink a lot of alcohol on St. Patrick's Day, whether or not you're actually Irish. And people have there's a parade in my hometown of Albany, New York, for St. Patrick's Day, and so people celebrate that and they drink a lot.
Yeah, lots of beer because that's an Irish thing to drink. Yeah,
whiskey or something.
But the other things that are associated with St. Patrick's Day, if you're like in grade school, you talk about the 4-leaf clover, which is supposed to be good luck. And you talk about leprechauns, which are these little tiny people who have gold pots that they keep at the end of the rainbow. And
they're notoriously tricky creatures. They're very sly and witty and things like that. This is all from Irish folklore. It is, yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. And leprechauns are supposedly like little tiny men, and they go and they have stashes of gold. So like they have lots of gold, and whoever finds this gold, and supposedly it's at the end of a rainbow. So whenever you see a rainbow, there's supposed to be a pot of gold at the end of it that the leprechaun has given. And Irish folklore has a lot of these fairy sort of creatures, and and a lot of traditions associated with these creatures too. So, and this is the only real one that's although. Oh my God, Alex, you didn't put Halloween on there.
I totally forgot Halloween.
Oh, shoot. Well, Halloween is also sort of an Irish celebration, but it's also mixed with the Mexican holiday Day of the Dead. But we'll talk about that later.
Totally forgot Halloween.
Yeah, dang. Okay, well, we'll just do that later.
Okay, so next comes the holiday of Easter, which is a Christian holiday meant to celebrate Jesus Christ rising from the dead after he was crucified. However, there is the Americanized celebration that has nothing to do with religion, and instead it surrounds around a bunny who...
We're the weirdest country.
I swear to God. Children go to bed at night, and they wake up in the morning, and the Easter bunny comes and leaves Easter egg baskets in your house, and the children have to find the baskets. They're hidden. And they have goodies in them, and of course the parents leave them overnight because there's no such thing as a giant bunny
romping around.
Yeah, like the rabbit in my small child's mind was like this tall, like it's a beefy rabbit.
I just pictured like a man-sized rabbit.
Yeah,
yeah. So like taller than me as a child.
That's terrifying.
And if you want to picture that in your mind, go right ahead. But if you want a good sleep tonight, then I would recommend not doing that. But so I think perhaps one of the reasons for the Easter Bunny's existence is because it's a lot like Santa Claus on Christmas.
Mhm.
Probably parents created the Easter Bunny just so their kids could be appreciate the Catholic holiday of Easter more, the Christian holiday of Easter more. That's my guess. It's not really known why or how the Easter Bunny came to be, but I'm sure you can look it up, and I'm sure Wikipedia has some sort of answer as to how it became a thing. So,
And Easter changes the date every year because the Catholic calendar is
crazy.
more complicated than it should ever have to be.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The next holiday that we celebrate is the 4th of July. It is the day of American independence that we signed the Declaration of Independence saying that we do not want to be a British colony anymore.
Probably the holiday that makes the most sense in the U.S.
Yes, it's a historical holiday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, technically Thanksgiving is too, but that's all nonsense.
Oh,
now.
yeah, no, we're...
Anyway,
People celebrate 4th of July by having a barbecue, which is where you like have burgers and hot dogs on the grill, two very American things.
yeah. Everything American in one day, people just squish it in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's fireworks. Very pretty. Everybody watches them in the sky.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it celebrates independence, which is a good word, meaning freedom or, separation from something else.
Say, Alex, when did the United States declare their independence?
1776.
Correct. Yay.
New York City.
So, yeah.
You know that from
So I
Hamilton.
was. Do you watch Hamilton too? Do you listen to Hamilton?
Do you know what I'm talking
You know what? Yeah, that's fine.
It's a musical.
All right, but so I was talking to a friend of mine from Indonesia, and he said that the Indonesian Independence Day is a lot later than the American Independence Day. So that's some pretty interesting cultural stuff that I like to learn about. So yeah, so the 4th of July, 1776. All of these people, if you didn't know, the America was colonized by the British. So the British just came in, took over the land, started bringing other British people over, and soon there were 13 colonies in the United States, but it wasn't the United States just yet. And at this time, this is what we learn in school as Americans, but I'm sure it's a little bit different for the British take, because they see us as as rebels, really.
We're
so
homies
like,
now, though.
yeah, we're fine now, but like back then, and I'm sure they taught their students a little bit differently than we taught our students in the U.S. But basically, lots of guys signed one document saying we don't want to be ruled by Britain anymore, and that's basically the 4th of July. That's so yeah, and then they fought the war for independence in the U.S. and the U.S. won, which was pretty neat. So, yeah, that's it. What's
The
next,
two
Alex?
holidays are Mother's Day and Father's Day, which are separate holidays. We grouped them together because they're pretty much the same
For
thing.
your parents, yeah.
Yes. Mother's Day's in May usually. They have like different dates.
It's on a
always
Sunday.
yeah.
It's a Sunday in May, and it's Sunday in June for Father's Day.
Yep. And for Mother's Day, basically, yeah, you just get a card from Hallmark because that's the whole reason this holiday has started. I should note,
God.
is because Hallmark, it's a card company, wanted
That's
to
not-
make more money. No, it's
that's
true.
not true.
It's so true.
That's not true at
Did
all.
you look it up?
Yes, I did look it up a long time ago.
Calm down.
Sorry.
What? You didn't sign up for this. It's okay.
We're arguing.
We're arguing. Okay, Mother's Day. Basically, Mother's Day involved one really upset woman, and so many years. She was so salty. And so many years worth of trying to get this holiday started until finally it got started in early 1900s ish, approximately. Yeah, but basically, this one lady she just really wanted it, and it happened. But definitely Hallmark and a lot of the card companies blows it out of proportion. So now, if you don't do something for your mom on Mother's Day, you're a terrible person.
It's true.
That's it. It doesn't matter where you are, how you can communicate with your mom. You got to do something for her because, you know, she gave you life. That's and like everything else. So
And Father's Day.
yeah, Father's Day is probably because the dads were jealous.
Yeah.
That's basically. And they're like, oh yeah, you should support your fathers too. Yeah.
Yeah, for Mother's Day, typically you give her some flowers or Mother's type of gift.
Breakfast in bed.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
We do that too.
Yeah.
And then Father's Day, similar breakfast usually. We'll make him breakfast, give him gifts, and then Dad gets a steak on the grill because
he's a man.
Yep, and that's a manly thing to do. And he drinks beer.
Yeah. So if you recall, did we talk about barbecue yet?
We talked about
For the
barbecue
4th of July?
briefly.
Yeah, for the 4th of July barbecue, so you just like flipping meat on a grill, hamburgers, hot dogs, the works, steak, like that. Very typical American things. The stereotypes are 100% true.
America.
It's very American, and it happens all the time. But yeah, so Father's Day involves a lot of barbecue and beer. Like, yeah, that makes sense. And for my dad, at least, it involves some form of golfing. Yeah, that's a very dad thing in the U.S. is to golf. I hate it. I hate the sport myself because it's boring. But you know, to each their own. What do we have next, Alex?
Okay, we're gonna skip. I'm gonna come back when it's chronologically relevant.
Yeah.